Welcome to season 4 of the Miss Francois Show. Yay! And I'm your host, Miss Francois. That's MSS for multi-talented and super sexy. Can you believe it's been 4 years? 4 years. Oh my God. And I look this amazing. I don't even age. But guess what? For our first episode of season 4, I'm going to have a fabulous lady. Not as fabulous as me, but second is not always bad, you know? Her name is Stephanie Lamour. And today, what we're filming is her birthday. Say hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Happy birthday to you, girl. Let me tell you something about Stephanie. She's an author. She's a Christian life coach who specializes in helping women heal from their hurtful past. She better give me some kind of healing because, one minute I think I'm above it all, I've gotten there. Next minute you get yourself in some little sadness and you start to cry. So maybe she can help me out also. And when I say author, she didn't write one book, she wrote 2 books, okay? I'll let her tell you a little about that, but you know what? She might be long-winded, so let me tell you. The first book is a children's book called The Praying Princess. Amen, hallelujah. I know you're all thinking Christian and God and Jesus and you all want to turn the television off. No, okay? You all need some God in your life, okay? And the book we are about to talk about today is called God Got Your Man. I know where you have my man. I think he tied him up and he's holding him hostage, but I know God got my man. So Stephanie, hello and good morning.
Hello, you starting early. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
When I saw the title of your book the first time, I said that's when I wanted you on the show. It's the title of the book. I was like, that is for my show. And let me tell you something. Stephanie wrote this book, and I had to basically kind of struggle to get her on the show talking about she was busy. She got some nerve, but it's okay. I forgive her. So the first thing I want to ask you is why the title of the book?
Well, it's really just is what it is. I want women to know, like we, because I say we, right? Because I've been in the struggle too. We look for these men that we have all these desires for, and then we just have this image of who we want in our lives, and we have all these qualities and goals for the man, and then we go through these relationships that are like, I have no other words for it, but and so at some point you settle, like you realize, you be still and you realize, listen, there's better for me out there. And the better for you out there is to know that your higher power actually has somebody for you. So God's got your man. There you go.
Well, girl, I'm over 40. So a lot of women going to be listening to you and be like, look, I'm 40, I'm 45. I have everything else I ever wanted, but I ain't seen this man coming. What would you say to that person?
Listen, I have students that are like in their 50s. I know people, I would say you're not even alone, okay? I know people who are getting married at 50, 60 years old. Love never dies. It's just a matter of, are you ready to go out there and get it, right? Just like anything else, are you ready to go out there and get it? Because love never dies. It's actually out there waiting for you, no matter the age, right?
Okay. Well, my eggs have a time, but I hear you. I hear you, Sister Stephanie. I hear you. At least, and sometimes me, when you say that, I'm not alone. But I sometimes I do feel alone, and sometimes I feel like I have to fight some of these women because they keep saying that they're not enough men. So are you one of those people that say they're not enough men or not enough qualified men, or how does that ratio go?
So look at my face. Okay. When my mother used to say they come a dime a dozen, they come a dime a dozen. All right. Again, this is why I say look for what you want and for what you desire. Do not settle, because just like you can go to the store and get multiple shoes, there are multiple men. Okay. You need to find the pair that fits well on your feet and that you can walk through life with. There are multiple choices. You like sneakers, there's sneakers. You like sandals, there's sandals. You want clogs, there's clogs. The thing is, with your divine mate, he's going to fit for you. All right. And so there come a dime a dozen.
So what I heard is make sure I don't get corns or bunions when I'm looking for my shoes, right?
There you go. Because
If it
then it's
don't
gonna
fit,
be a struggle.
if it don't fit, don't buy it. Keep
That's it.
looking. Go to different stores, right?
That's
So what
it.
I also get from that is just don't give up. You know, he's out there, right? One of the
Exactly.
things that I did like about your book, because I read the book, of course, and I don't like, because you know people always say, "Ah, girl, I read your book, you didn't read nothing," is that you shared some of your private stories. Because I always think, how do you go about being ready or to be open to share some of the things that you've been through to connect with other people?
So I would definitely ask a person, right? What do you, it's about knowing your purpose, knowing your worth, knowing your value, and getting into all of that and finding that out for myself after going through an abusive,
Mm.
toxic relationship. Why should I keep this pain within inside of me? There are oftentimes women want to talk about what they have been through, but like I always say, there's something the enemy wants you to keep all that pain to yourself. But why? There's someone else struggling with the same pain. So you can be a value or an asset to that woman. Otherwise, I hate to say it like this, and some things I don't go there, but otherwise, these men win. You know, it's kind of like saying, hey, if I know I went to this restaurant and it was so horrible and this was my experience with it, why am I going to let you go there to experience the same thing? Right. So it's like, yeah, let's get together. Let's just share the story.
I must say, I love your comparison, you know, shoes, shopping, places to
I'm
eat.
full of
It's
that.
no, it's not, it's good because sometimes people need those comparisons to be able to understand what you're saying. So I love those. I'm stealing some of those, okay? One of the things you had even mentioned in your book, you said when you were in a less than perfect relationship, friends and family did intervene, but you said it seemed like noise. You stopped listening because it just seemed like noise. So why did it seem like noise, and how can someone stop the noise and begin to see?
Mhm. So you've ever been so like in love, goo goo gaga, in love, like at the end of the day, even if it was something you really like with me, let's talk about men like food, right? I love this food so much. Whether you tell me to eat it or not, I may even sneak to eat it, right? If you're in a diet because you want to get healthy, you may sneak in and grab that fast food with nobody
Mm,
looking because it does something for you, whether you believe it or not. That toxic relationship, that man, he's actually present in your life, taking
mm,
space, keeping company. So no matter who tells you what about it, you're not going to want to remove yourself until you say, you know what, enough is enough. Enough. This is really making me gain weight. This is really, but you have to get to the point that enough is enough. And that's only something you have to see for yourself. But as soon as you get it, as
mm.
soon as you see it, you have to be able to hold on to what you have and start the process of healing, a process of letting go. But if every day you're like, all right, I feel bloated, I feel this way, I feel that way,
Mm.
and then 5 seconds later, you just keep doing the same thing and you don't get that moment of aha and run with it, you're going to keep repeating the same pattern. So I had my moment of aha. I mean, this man was seeing other women's behind my back. I knew what was going on, but my moment of aha was when he compared me to somebody else and he made me, I actually felt in the moment that I was chosen as less than. And by
Mm.
at that point, I was like, oh no, I am not less than. And I took that, I wrote what he said to me, which I don't remember right now, right?
Yeah.
But because I forgave. I wrote what he said to me on that mirror. I had a mirror in my house. I wrote what he said to me. I read it every single day. Every
Mm.
single day, I got the strength to keep going. Every single day, I was like, And while he thought everything was good, I was planning my escape. That's the thing with us. We plan. Okay? We plan. And so little by little, that was the process.
And that's funny because that was actually going to be my next question. Girl, you're good. It just flowed nicely because I wanted to know exactly what was that, thing. Because every Oprah like to say that aha moment. So you had that aha moment, and that's just so amazing that you wrote it down. You see it every day till you're like, aha,
Mhm.
can't do this no more. Time to for a change. So I applaud you on that. So a lot of women is like, that's I never thought of that. So that's pretty awesome. And look at you now. You're married now, correct?
Yes. Wait, I'm happily married now. Yes.
Excuse me, I apologize. So the next question I want to ask you, right? You had made this statement in the book. I like the analogy of someone leaving underwear at your house. Explain that some more.
Okay. So it's kind of like when you go and all the baggage, like everything extra, like you don't want the dirty stuff. You don't want to pick up to go somewhere and find someone's dirty underwear where you feel like, okay, let's be here for a minute. Where you feel like your underwear should be. Let me give you a funny story, right?
Yeah.
So when I met my husband, at the time he wasn't my husband, but I'm gonna put his business out there because he allows me to do that sometimes. He was seeing multiple women, right? And when I say multiple, one or two, I'm not gonna make him sound like that. But I
Well,
just
it's more than one.
right. But I just knew at the time, like he was my divine mate. So I'm like, all right, you have these women, okay. Little by little, again, I was plotting. I would leave my underwear at his house. That was my like. I can't believe I'm even going there. But I would leave it there. Listen, I'm open, I'm blunt. That's just what it is. All right. So I would leave, my underwear, I would leave my toothbrush, I would leave certain things at the house. Kind of like saying, this is where I belong. I know, like, I'm comfortable. Whoever sees it is their business. I'm comfortable. You don't want to go into nobody's dirty drawers. You want to be able to have your story, claim your story. This is where I belong. This is who I know I belong with, type of attitude, type of demeanor, right? There's no competition. And lo and behold, I think 2 weeks later, they were gone and I'm here. There you go. That's just
So
what it
basically,
was.
you marked your territory. You peed on that tree. You peed on that fire hydrant.
See, I knew you were gonna go there. In my mind, I was like, is she gonna go there?
Goes there. So now with this, your happily married, your amazing husband. How many kids do you have?
We have 4 beautiful children, pain in the butts, but they're beautiful.
What are their ages?
They are 11, 7, 6, and 5.
And how long you been married?
9 years, going on 10.
Okay, so a question somebody would have is, oh, so you were leaving your underwear at this man's house who was dating multiple women, right? And you're a Christian? Oh, how does that work?
Listen, I would definitely say at the end of the day, yes, I definitely am a Christian. Yes, at the end of the day, does Christian mean perfection? That's the one thing to know about being Christian. It's not perfection. And at the end of the day, would Jesus judge me for leaving my underwear? My underwear? I think he got bigger things about me to work on. I think working as yourself as a Christian is a process. We're talking about 10 years ago, right? We're talking about a woman who is sitting before you now was not the same woman 10 years ago, right? So we all have a process to go through. God handles us, or Jesus, God handles us in the process in which we are at the time.
So I want to go directly into one of the chapters. It's chapter 6, Love's Lesson. It's on page 51. So I'm going to have her read it. So shut up, turn off everything, and pay attention. Stephanie?
All right, so chapter 6 starts off with First Corinthians. Love suffers long, is kind. Love does not envy, prides not itself, is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seeks not her own, is not easily provoked, thinks no evil. And then I proceed. Love may not be everything you thought it would be, but from now on, love gets to be everything you know it to be. How you love, how you give love, especially to yourself, is how you're going to receive love. Love is the highest being one can operate in at any given time. Sometimes situations and or circumstances during your life journey prevents you from seeing or experiencing love as your heavenly Father has created you to experience it. No matter how disconnected you have been from love, it is calling you. Learn to embrace it again. believe in it again, trust it again. Then you will be ready to receive it again. And then you have a line for you to write what love means to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. So exactly when you ended there, you said you have a line to write, because throughout the books you had areas where you wanted us to, like, you had exercises and assignments after some of the chapters. And one of the things that stood out to me, you said you wanted us to use pen and paper. You know how we have computer, we have tablets, we have our phones. Why it is you had those assignments, and why it is that we should use pen and paper?
Because I have had many students that I've coached and many students that I've done the work in, and this is what I call the work. So we can't sit here and just say, oh, I want these men, oh, I want, there's a work that needs to be done within inside of us. It's not just about affirmations, meditations, and things like that. You have to intentionally do physical activities, physical work. Like, you know, when you want to grow a seed, you put in the work in order for that seed to grow. And so just like yourself, we're doing the mental work, we're doing the emotional work. I want to have the reader be my student and either coach. And so this is a book where I'm teaching, and you're, as the student, I want you to learn, I want you to receive, I want you to discover certain things about yourself. You're like, wow, this is really what I'm seeing within me. And so I want you to have those moments. In order to have those moments, hey, it's not about, you know, I Google typing and all that stuff. That takes away from the one-on-one encounter you can have with yourself with just the paper and a pen. To me, the paper and the pen is a magic tool.
I noticed each time I talk to Stephanie, the preacher in her just come out. She like, and the and the
I just can't help myself.
I said, this Joel Osteen or TD Jakes? I'm not sure sometimes, but I get it.
Help myself.
I definitely get your point across, you know, and you're passionate when you talk about it, and I can respect that, right?
Oh.
One of the things you mentioned is letting go, right? And people always, they have books about letting go and what you should do, but how does someone let go?
I'm gonna take a deep breath with this one. And you know why? I can't sit here in front. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and just say there's a magic pill or a secret solution. This is why it's so important. I teach my, I said children. I teach my students to really have that intimacy with yourself, intimacy with your creator. Because if you believe, then you believe he has all the solutions that you need. My way of letting go is not going to look like your way of letting go.
Okay, just so everyone who is watching knows, she's not talking to me. I'm fine. I let mine go, okay? She talking to you, all right? Because I was like, who's she talking to? Anyway, I've been healed, hallelujah. What the?
Hallelujah, amen.
Okay, I wanted to know, like, people, like authors like you write a book. What is your favorite chapter in the book, and
So,
why?
in this book,
Yes, in God's Got Your Man. No,
so
no, in the other 10 books.
my favorite chapter is when I talk about the cheerleaders. And so the cheerleader, meaning you're going to get an opportunity to see who in your life is supportive of you or not. The reason it's my favorite part in the book is because that's so essential to any walk you have. I don't care if you're looking for a new job. I don't care if you're, you know, want to start a business. If you have divine cheerleaders, like a divine mate. We were just talking about this, friendships. It's too often we call people friends and we associate it with titles that they cannot live up to. Ooh. So now we are intentionally taking a look at who's in your life, who are the cheerleaders, and not only that, but you're given the opportunity to connect with them and let them know, hey, this is how I operate. This is how I'm going to need your help. This is what I'm doing. Because often we think, hey, the person could read your mind. Hey, if you have a friend and you feel like they're supposed to be supporting me, did you ask that friend to support you? Did you ask them, did you show them how they can support you? But no matter what, we need that support. We need those cheerleaders. We need That's why I say Jesus ain't walk with one person. He walked with 12 people. I don't care if they betrayed him, they did this, they did that. You know why? Because Jesus remained Jesus. You have to remain yourself. The people
Mm,
around you at the end of the day, they come alongside you and they're supposed to pick up from you. Right. And so when you can do that, and with the book, you're like, all right, Sam, Barbara, Jason are my friends. These are the people that I'm going to share my space, what I'm doing with intentional. This is intentional work. As you're doing the work, again, you're going to want cheerleaders. And once you learn that, you can do it with all different areas of your life. So my favorite part is the cheerleading. We all need cheerleaders.
uh, yes, after your 3 minutes talk, I believe they get it. Thank you, Stephanie Lamour. One of the things that I personally like was the changing of beliefs, because we often hear different sayings and we just go along with these sayings. So because this what we're accustomed hearing. Like for example, all men are dogs. So that is something like you pointed out that I totally like. So explain that a little of some of the sayings that we commonly hear that we just go with and believe.
Yes, that was a good one too. The believing that all men are dog. Listen, at the end of the day, my experience is going to be different from your experience. We get our beliefs, the way we think, with hearing what other people are saying, and then we begin to adapt to that. Whether, again, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard this, whether it was your grandmother chilling in the kitchen talking about this man, or you heard a friend experience something, or you heard, or you watched a movie, the words, the ideas is in your mind. Subconsciously, if you're not strong enough and intentional enough, you're
Mm,
going to begin to perceive this as the truth. If the evidence then speaks for itself, where you're like, all right, all men are dogs, and you're saying this to yourself, that's what you're going to attract. Then you're going to start to believe it's true, and then it's
mhm.
going to be a cycle. And this is how the cycles don't stop, they keep going. So instead, you need to pause and really, with the book, and we identify, what are these thoughts that you're having, and are they necessarily true? Is there not one guy in your life, I don't care if it's your brother, your neighbor, your father,
Mhm.
anybody, that is a good man? And if there's evidence that there's one man out here that is good, then that's saying all men are dogs is false. And this is where we begin to take away what you're believing versus what is true, and we want to stick with what is true.
Wow. That's such a good point. I want to take this time to shout out my brother Christian Santilka. You're a good husband. I also want to shout out, check me doing Jefferson George, you're a great husband. So you know what? Since I have some good examples, Hortensia husband, good examples. So I have some hope. Thank you for giving me some hope, Stephanie. Right? Because God knows it. Girl, it was dwindling, because sometimes I'm one of those people, just like I don't mind trying on the different shoes. I don't want to keep it on my foot too long, but when you keep going from shop to shop, you're tired, you get frustrated, it's exhausting, and you just want to be like, oh my God, you give it to God, but you're like, remember, God only helps us if we try to help ourselves. And one thing, since show everyone the book, I want to make sure they see the book. God's got your man. So my other thing was, when someone see and Christian life goes, they'll be like, okay, so I have to be a Christian. I need to be praying on my knees 24 hours a day. What are the things? How does God enter into this? Because it didn't say, your man is out there. You say, God got my man. So
Right.
tell me about that part.
Space. So I don't want, okay. So the way I teach things is that relationship with God is different than religion, right? I don't do religion at all. Relationship, saying like, hey, you're my friend. It's kind of like kicking it with a friend. You're my friend. You're my best friend. That's not like the worldly one, by the way. But so at the end of the day, it's like, I know you have something for me. And if you have or whoever you can think of that you trust fully, if you know they have something for you, but they don't want to give it to you unless they feel like you're ready for it,
Mm,
this friend is not only going to know, they're going to help you to get ready for it.
mm,
They're not going to just bring you to the party dressed any kind of way, right? It's a celebration. When you have your man, let's call it a celebration, okay? And so he's let you go either naked, he's going to put you nicely dressed, and you know, the way he sees that you ought to be, right? Mm. And so in doing that, he's going to take you on a journey in order to discover that, in order to put that on. He's not just going to let you step into a room where it's like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what it's. Hold on, because I don't want to. I could go on the spin here, so let's recapture. I'm like, she only has a few minutes. All right, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. All right, no problem. So my point is, when we serve with God, when we walk with God, he's not going to just let us enter a room however we want to be. He wants to prepare you for what he has waiting for you behind that door. And so only he knows what's waiting for you behind that door. So process with you and make sure you're fully prepared, because if he gives it to you before time, then at the end of the day, it's not going to work out. It's not that he wants you to kneel, pray, and do all these fancy things to receive it. A friend is not going to do that. A friend who is authentically, genuinely for you wants to give this to you. He wants to give it to you. He don't want you to beg for it. He don't want you to plead for it. He don't want you, no, he just wants a relationship with you. And because you have that relationship with him, whatever it is that he has for you, we're not just talking about a man, we're talking about a life. If you want family, family. If you want children, children. Whatever is behind that door, he wants to fully clothe you for you to walk through that door to receive it. Does that make sense?
Just tell me where the door is. but yes. So what I would say now to you is this has been a very deep conversation. I felt like I was a little in like church. I felt like I was chilling in the kitchen. I felt I was still in the living room. I felt like we, was just having a friendly conversation, and there was so much levels to this conversation, and I definitely appreciate you. Thanks for not being one of those guests I gotta drag stuff out of. I mean, you talk a little extra, but I like the extra. Okay, and it was relevant. With that said, tell people where they could go get the book. Tell people where they could connect with you when they want some Stephanie Lamour in their life.
Yes. And so the book is on Amazon. I'm excited to say there's a relaunch. So you're getting deeper and more insight from the foundational work and all that good stuff. So it's on Amazon. God's Got Your Man relaunch. And then you can catch me on Instagram at Coach Stephanie Lamour. Last but not least, free coaching, us to walk together. You can find my group, Divine Sisters Club, on Facebook.
Okay, so don't worry. I'm going to put those things down there, but people just don't listen. They don't pay attention. Absolutely. And the same thing you just said, someone going to DM me and say, what did she say? Okay, but thank you so much, Stephanie, for coming on and sharing with us. God got your man. God, please, wherever that man is selling. Okay, I'm leaving the house in a few minutes. Please make sure he's outside, all right? Maybe he's delivering that package. With that said, don't forget to check out Miss Francois. That's MSS for Multi-Talented and Super Sexy. Go to my website. I made it easy for you guys, www.mssfrancois. Okay, you can find me on all social media. Have an amazing day, Stephanie, and happy birthday again. Bye.